guys, Kyle, the Death Knight of Anime here, bringing you my review for One Piece episode 919. And, well, first off, I'm sorry this one is as late as it is, guys. My, I was from Shaw with some friends, so, yeah. Um, but, aside from that, I think just pretty much the fact that I couldn't, just the fact that I haven't reviewed the One Piece manga yet. This kind of put into perspective of something that I think how I'm gonna handle things from now on is that every Saturday I'm going to review the One Piece anime. Sunday is going to be the My Hero Academia manga and anime, and Monday I'm going to be tackling the One Piece manga. I think that's, un- uh, well, pretty much until further notice. I think that's how I'm going to do this from now on. Like, I think it's probably the best bet. I think it's probably the best bet for me to do it too. Uh, like, I think it's like, yeah, it's the best bet for me to handle it this way, I think. Um, but with that said, yeah, like I said, let's talk One Piece episode 919. Okay, so to start off, I have to talk about the whole. Actually, in general, I have to say this episode was definitely one of the funnier ones. Like, I don't think I've ever laughed as much as I have watching One Piece than I have in this episode. Like, every everything in this episode hit on like from some comedic point for me within, and it just made me laugh. And it just made me laugh, which arguably arguably I'm not going to complain about, because to be honest with you, lately I've kind of needed a really good laugh, so something to like really make me smile. So yeah, in that sense, this episode succeeded in spades. Start, to start off, for instance, I have to talk about the hilarious chasing through the palace, or the through the palace with Shinobu and Nami trying to escape. Cause yeah, well, I'm sure Shinobu. Well, we basically see that Shinobu does have skills, and in the end, it's also kind of pathetic that Nami proved to be a better ninja than Shinobu in this episode partially. And yeah, the whole thing about being afraid of sharp weapons, well, that's kind of one of the that's kind of an irony at its finest if you really think about it. Yet at the same time, in the usual oddities of One Piece, it does transition into showing us that her like Shinobu's specialty at the end of the day is like escape and aerial tactics. She's not necessarily the type of the type of ninja or shinobi best at like who's best at who's who's pretty much best at who's best at like combat, I guess, or anything like that, or at least not now. Um, and and I will admit I do like that, because it does kind of show just how I guess realistic the French ninjutsu arts in the One Piece world are. Like, there isn't multiple skills like that shinobi are necessarily like all all pretty much like fluent or strong at. The shinobi in One Piece are all like have at least like one or two skills at best that they're pretty much skilled at. And this, it doesn't there isn't they're not overpowered with skills, I guess you could say, which is arguably something, I'm not gonna lie, that I don't think Naruto ever learned from. But I'm not gonna compare the two. I'm not gonna compare the two any further beyond that. And yeah, through that through basically Nami and Shinobu's escape, we also got a setup with the name of a port and shipment date for like weapons. So pretty much now, like, for as goofy as that was, it did kind of set things in motion, and it has it has the plan. It has the plan like pretty much moving forward in that aspect. Um, one and okay, so this is both a major and a minor thing about this episode, is that we get introduced to a new character simply known as Old Man Hyo. And even though he largely remained in the background of the episode, we still there was enough focus on him to for us to get the sense that he isn't exactly like your average prisoner either. Like he is going to play a major part in. Actually, the biggest and weirdly enough, the biggest hint of who he actually is lies in a scene earlier where he isn't even shown, but it's the scene where we see those three thugs like pretty much spying on Sanji. Like it's something that's going to serve as an interesting, I guess, parallel if you've seen the preview, let's just say what happens between like Sanji and those guys is going to serve as an interesting parallel and foreshadowing for later when we get fully introduced to who Old Man Hyo is. Let's put that's the best way to put it. And and since they were the focus of the episode, let's talk about Luffy and Kid, specifically the reaction of the jailers to the amount of raw strength that both of them possessed. Like, and what made it funnier here than the first time obviously where we see them like lifting blocks and whatnot is that is just seeing the reaction from the jailers and seeing that slow realization dawn on all of them of just how royally fucked they're going to be if and when like obviously more when than if Kid and Luffy get free of those handcuffs. Like that was like they realize they get free, they are so screwed. And that was just beautiful and it's one of those scenes that's just beautiful One Piece comedy at its finest. While at the same time it also shows that yeah, in their attempts to break Luffy and Kid, they're unintentionally making them stronger. And any kind of method that the jailers have used, any like method that the jailers have used on other prisoners, it's not gonna work for Luffy and Law here, and they realize that like they need to kind of do something different if they're ever going to like get Law back, get in order to ever take control of them again, take command for them again, and that in itself also makes it even funnier in that essentially this whole episode, if you think about it, uh, is that everything Luffy and Kid do in this episode has effectively broken down the dynamic and has broken down the dynamic of the prison and made us realize that yeah, the jailers aren't exactly the ones in charge and aren't gonna have much control if they can't control these two idiots. Like it's that amazing, and kind of it's one of those that's so epic yet so funny. It's what One Piece does best. Now aside from all that, while the episode was entertaining, it also kind of confirmed for me something I already knew, which is that when we do get focus on the prison, those are going to be the slowest part of any episode in the future, because for as much as the pacing has improved in Wano compared to previous arcs, Toei still does have to sacrifice something in order to keep themselves at a distant enough space from catching up to the manga. Now, it's still probably gonna be on the level of still probably not gonna be on the level of anything in like Dressrosa, for example, but we're still gonna have to plow through those like pretty much through those like through those pretty much like more slower moments probably in when it comes to the prison, I think. But yeah, guys, that's really all I've got for this review. If you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe, follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and on Crunchyroll. Death Knight of Anime, signing off. Later, guys.